What is up, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Filmmaker's Guide for Your Smartphone. This is a 7-part series where Caleb and I have been going over the process of making a film on your smartphone, from post-production all the way down to the finished product for our film. But today we're going to be talking about storyboarding and location scouting, and I'm outside today and it's beautiful. If you live in Indiana or anywhere in the Midwest, you know spring can be iffy. It can be snowing one day or raining for a whole week. So today I'm taking advantage of being outside so we can show you where we're going to be filming our film. So yeah, let's just get into it. So this is important for a couple of reasons. One being that finding the right location for your film just really pulls together the whole world that you're trying to get us to be in, trying to immerse in. You just really can't just film any place, because if it has no relation to your character or the character development, then it kind of is just a waste of space, and you don't even know why you're even using it. Two, when it comes to storyboarding, basically you're taking whatever information you're gathering from your location scouting, whether it be on the web, going out physically, going to the spaces. Storyboarding brings all that together and makes a better structure of how the story is going to be laid out, so you know exactly what you're going to be filming on a day. So this will help you, your crew, your director, your actors, whoever's involved. Having these things solidified early on in the process is going to greatly help your production on the day that you're going to be filming. So here's one useful tip that I like to do is use the camera system, or at least a focal length or a type of lens that I'm going to be filming with while I'm location scouting. So since we're going to be using the anamorphic gold flare anamorphic, I have it with me, I have my phone, so I'm just going to just put it on here like so. So now I'm going to be taking photos with this lens so I can build into my storyboard later. So I already have the look that I want, and I don't have to worry about anything else after that. So yeah. So right now I'm just going to open up the Moment app. I'm going to swipe over here at the top to the lens section. I'm going to tap on anamorphic, which is great that we have this de-squeeze option in camera. And I'm just going to just hit photo. I'm not going to take really any videos. I could take videos. You could make a visual storyboard like that with videos. But this shot's pretty cool. This is actually a cool opening shot, actually. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to take a photo here. I'm not going to lie. This is actually a better composition, I think. Yeah, that's nice. So I'm just take that shot, and then now I can actually see maybe like Caleb running right across here or running towards the camera, but it's a nice shot actually. Yep. Now, even though you're using your phone to make this film, or whatever film that is, just to double check if you need to have a permit of some sort wherever you're going to be filming in, because it is nice that a phone is not, you know, obviously like, oh, that's a cinema camera, right? But there are some locations, wherever you may be, that, you know, require some sort of permit. I'm in like a open park, public park, so it doesn't really matter. But just keep that in mind. And what's nice about finding locations that really work for you is that for this, I can actually use natural leading lines, because this ridge creates one. So that low angle shot that you saw, now I can use that to my advantage for a better composition. Oh, so actually, the fact that there's clouds right now, this brings me to another tool that is very useful. It's called Sunseeker, or any tool that can track the sun, and definitely using the weather app for sure. Sunseeker, it just allows you to see the positioning of the sun no matter what time of the day. So now you can have a much more strategic. You can have a strategy now of when and what time you want to film, and then you can actually go to see during that time what the light looks like. So if you want to use more natural light for whatever reason there is, now you can know where the position of the sun will be and all that jazz. And that's just more useful. The more tools you can actually use to benefit how you're going to shoot or how you're going to create your story, is just more power to you. So use what you can. Use what's going to be best for whatever is going to help you put out a story. Actually, this shot right here is kind of nice. So I'm actually just grab a shot. Let's get that lined up. Bang. Pretty dramatic with that clouds like that. All right, so here's one of my apps I like to use for location scouting. It's actually a location scouting app. It's called Catteridge. Basically, this is an app that has a large library of cinema cameras and lenses that you can combine for whatever shoot you're going to be using on. Now, the downside is that it doesn't have an iPhone or Android setup built in, so you kind of have to plug in a custom profile, which I did in this case. But the benefit of using this app is that you can actually shoot all the necessary scenes, or as you're building your location and stuff out, you can actually build in data that's useful for your DP or cinematographer later on, even your set designer and things like that, because you can add notes, and then whatever the camera information that you have that you're going to be using, in this case a phone, you can say what lens. So let me show you what that looks like when you export it. So this is what Catters looks like. Now you can record a little bit of video, you can record a photo, easy enough. So once you start building up your library on your location scout, so if you take a few pictures here, and if I go to the left here and bring it up and go to export, you have an option to just export the image, which is fine, or the PDF shot list, which is actually very interesting. And you name it whatever shot list you want. And then now it has 3 more options. So you have none, where you can just build a grid of images, which is pretty visually easy. And then you have basic, which is basically image and then some information or whatever notes you put into the app. And then all is all the information that you've dove into to add for more detail. So I think this is a really great app to use. Like I said, it's pricey, but if you're gonna be doing this in your filmmaking career, it's worth the investment. Some other things to think about when you're actually location scouting is when you find a place, see where the nearest bathroom is, where some food might be. How's parking? Is it free? Is there coffee? All right, so let's head back to the studio so we can put together all the images that we captured into a storyboard. All right, so now I'm at my desk. Fun fact, actually, I've been filming this entire video on my Fuji X-E4, so still getting used to the autofocus system here. It's still kind of a little janky, but it's all right. So today I'm actually using Milanote. I've been using Milanote for the last 2 years. It's a great program for just creative brain dumps and organizations, and you can do a ton of stuff in here, so I highly recommend checking it out. But you can totally do docs or some high-end professional storyboard systems. You can do whatever you want. You can also draw. Drawing is pretty much the basis of any storyboard. You just draw the scenes that you want. And you know, that's actually a job too. You can be a storyboard artist. So I digress. So yeah, I'm here in Milanote, and what we're going to do is create a board. And let's check out some of the templates that they have for storyboards. So if you bring over a board here, now, sorry, it's spraying for me. So if you hear me sniff or yeah, it's spring for me, so I have allergies and I'm trying to get through it right now. All right, so here in the bottom left corner, it has a bunch of templates. We're actually going to search storyboard. Why did my voice crack? So man, yeah, they actually have a lot. Photography storyboard, website storyboard, gaming storyboard, filmmaking storyboard. We want filmmaking storyboard. So let's use this. Let's see what they got. Boom, they got some, oh cool, they got some drawings in here already. So here's some basic things that you would need for your storyboard just to have the right information. A small description, what the scene is, what's the camera movement possibly, what's the action of the actor. If you have those four things, it's pretty easy to expand on that later, but those are the really basic things that you would want to have. So now we can actually go over here and upload our own image. And I got these 3 screenshots from when I shot earlier. So let's drop this in here, let's drop this in here, and let's drop this in here. We're not gonna need the rest of these. All right, so here's what I'm thinking for this opening sequence, if we possibly use it. Our establishing shot is probably gonna be a city, so I don't have that here. Always get an establishing shot just to set the mood if you need to. There's this top-down shot, so imagine this runner here is actually Caleb and he's going the opposite way because we're going to be following this line of the ridge as our general direction through the frame. So if this is the top-down shot, opening shot, right, and the camera pans down. So let's actually add a caption. Let's make a note. Camera tilts down, I said pans, tilts down to reveal runner. So your scenes, you want to group your scenes together because those are your sequence, and then you'll just have your individual frames within that sequence. Then if you're going to something else, like a new location or a different spot from whatever that sequence is, you would rename it scene 2. So there's that. All right, I actually want to show you another site that I like to use for inspiration for just gathering more images. If you can't always go out and location scout, but if you can also figure out what kind of angles do you want, is a great website for that. But I also want to say thank you for today's sponsor, which is Creative Live. Creative Live has been around for years, and actually I've used a couple lessons for myself. It was created by one of my favorite artists growing up, Chase Jarvis, and it's expanded to a bunch of just different levels of creativity, from photography, video work, business. I would highly recommend checking out some of their courses on filmmaking, especially documentary or just production in general. They dive a little bit more into what storyboarding is like and just that pre-production phase. So highly recommend checking that out. And again, thank you Creative Live for sponsoring this video. Now, this is a fantastic website just to kind of gather inspiration and just shot ideas, color palettes, angles, you name it. This is where you can find a lot of high-end films that you've watched, that you've enjoyed, and you can actually dive in to see some of these screenshots, and actually you can build your own shot sequence with this website alone. If you have a similar mood and feel from a movie that you like, you can just download these images and build your storyboard that way, which is pretty awesome because you can build in the look, the feel, you name it. One of my favorite movies is Blade Runner, so I just clicked on it, and it's really cool. You can visually see the color palette, you can see the shot sequences, all that jazz. And this is basically just a resource. I'm not going to sit here and try to walk you through everything, but you can search the format, you can search the color palette, you can search interior, exterior. One of my other favorite filmmakers is Terrence Malick, and so I also love just extreme wide shots. Now obviously let's not use Blade Runner now. We can actually just open this up, and this library keeps growing, so there's also just endless resources to kind of gather. So I just definitely want to share this with you all. Now you can definitely mix this in with your own location scouting, the shots that you gathered, and there's some shots that you really can't explain or how to put together. You can come to this website, download the image, and put it into your storyboard. So typically in the process, you would actually do your storyboarding first, based off of your script, so you can get a rough idea, rough concept of how each shot sequence or shot and scene will work together. Then you would go out and find those places that you want to have in your film. You'll do your location scouting that way, and then go back to your storyboard, possibly refine it some more, and then get your shot list ready, and then you go out. That's how you typically would do it. But this case, if you're feeling inspired just to be out and see some scenes, go out and location scout. Like, there's really no wrong way of doing it, but just like the thought process of, logically working through something, you would probably do that first. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. You learned something new today. Make sure to check out the other 2 episodes previously, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.